Well, hello there for the 10th time. Yeah, it's been 10 times I've been trying to make this video, and it's always either a microphone or something else that I miss, and I have to basically make the video again and again. So I'm going to try to re-explain what I did for the 10th time. Now, because I'm using AI, right, to mentor me, to help me understand this game creation thing, right? Because I don't know how to code. I don't understand. Well, I do have better understanding now after like a lot of projects, but in the beginning, right, I didn't understand like scenes in Godot. I didn't understand anything. Like it was totally like confusing. Everything was confusing, right? Now I'm starting to understand scripting a bit, you know, the whole variables and stuff like that, right? Like anything, right? The more you do it, you eventually start understanding what's happening. But because of that, right, I also was like, I didn't want to constantly open Chrome and have 10,000 pages, you know, on the side. And I was thinking, okay, can we implement AI inside Godot? And as you can see, yes, we can. So what I did is I implemented Cloudy inside Godot, right? As you can see, you need an API key. You have to pay for it. It doesn't charge a lot, but the point is that you have to pay for it, right? So once you get your API key, the only thing you have to do is come here, paste it inside, paste your API key, hit enter, and every time you start this project, right, the system will be like Cloudy Assistant ready, API key loaded, right? The API key will be saved for this project. I don't know, I'm still working on this thing. I don't know if it's going to be saved for other projects, right? But for this project, it stays there, right? Now, I also found out that Cloudy API keys are a bit bad because they give you the API key once and you cannot, like, you know how they have the option to show, you know, let's say show password, show API key, they don't have this option. So if you make an API key, save it somewhere, because otherwise if you lose it, you have to basically go and make another API key, which is not a big deal, but you know, just something to know about. So this thing is working, and let me show you. Say hi to YouTube. So as you can see, it's thinking, right? There are different things, different notifications here, but as you can see, I'm not sure what you'd like me to say to YouTube or blah blah blah, you know, it doesn't matter. The point is that it's working, right? And as you can see, it shows you how much tokens you've used and how much money basically it charges you, right? You've spent to create this, right? Now another thing is that this chat here, the chat history, stays here until you clear it or start a new one, right? If I close this, if I close Godot and reopen the project, this chat history stays here, which is a good thing, because maybe, I don't know, maybe the engine crashed or something, you know, you don't lose anything, it's still here. Now, the first model, the first version that I started with was just this chat box, right, and this chat history here, chat history window. Now, this was not enough. It was not simple, right, because I want to make it simple for myself when I want to create something, right? So I don't know about you, but I don't think anyone has time to just type and explain all kinds of stuff, right? So I was like, okay, let's do some buttons, right? And I was like, I want an attach button, right? So I want to attach files. I want the option to attach stuff. Now you can drag stuff here as well, but you know, I was like, why not have an attach button, right? A clear button, right? You can clear the conversation, and a new button. Now the new button is supposed to work, right? I haven't tested everything. I probably tested like 20% of all the features and stuff that's going on here, right? And there is a lot of stuff that I'm working on, but the new button is supposed to work as you're starting a new conversation, in the sense, imagine that you're opening a new tab on your Chrome or whatever browser you're using, right? And you just start a new conversation. That's what it's supposed to do. This also means that if you press new, the AI is going to lose track of what you've done, right? What you've spoke with it, what you've done with it, and basically the whole idea about the game project. Because of that, I had to come up with a different angle, different solution, which is the create button. Now, maybe you know, or maybe you don't know, but over time, the more you chat with an AI, eventually it will lose track of the first things, right? Or the top things, or whatever you want to, however you want to think about it, right? But it starts losing track of what you've done or what you've messaged, chatted with this thing, right? Because of that, I lost a lot of game projects that I really don't want to start all over again, right? Because at some point, let's say I start the project with, let's create a main menu, right? And we take it from there, and we create a character selection menu and whatever, and characters and all kinds of stuff, right? And we work on this game idea. Eventually, I'm like, okay, let's export the game, let's see how it does. But the AI is like, yeah, but we have to do a main menu. And I'm like, we did a main menu. And then it gets confused because I have to now re-explain all the steps that we did in a short amount, like in the shortest way possible, which is such a drag. Like, it's such a pain that made me like just forget about all the projects that I wanted to do and stuff like that, because it's just a pain to go and re-explain what you already did. It's just annoying. It's just super annoying, and I don't like it. Because of that, I created this. Not I, but the idea, right, is to have this thing. Now, I started with, the first thing I started was this thing and the game features. The game features have been changed quite a lot. And this is the new version, right? This is going to be a scrollable, I cannot say it, a window that you can scroll, right? But the idea here is that we started with 60 features. We are going to 115 features. I want it, right? This is basically everything that you see is basically my idea, right? The AI is just helping me do it. Now, I wanted a specific folder for the files, which is the GDD file. The GDD file is there for the user to use it as a reference in case something happens, right? In case, let's say you start a new conversation, you have the GDD file there. So you can then, you can be like, read the GDD file, right? And if it reads the GDD file, it knows, okay, I get the game, right? I'm back on track with the project. Basically as a reference, right? So this is the whole idea. So you can specify like a specific folder and stuff. You have different features. There is a description box, if you want to specify some specific thing. And recently, we added templates. Now don't pay attention to this. This is just some random stuff that I pulled. I don't know if it's true or not, but some random stuff. Now the previous version worked with the features, which I'm working on right now, which basically means that I was like, I did this before, right? I wanted a 2D top-down game that's action RPG, and the theme is fantasy, space, I have no idea. But as you can see, we have this, right? And this, they're both the same. And the reason, like this as well as this, right? The reason here is that I'm trying to create a GDD file, and I'm trying to use those options so I can narrow it down and specify what exactly I want, instead of coming here and typing I want a jump, but I want the jump to be double jump, and I want health bar, and I want this, and I want that, and eventually you're like, you make the document and you forget something, and then you have to go again, and it's like, it's just a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? When you can just press a button and be like, okay, I want climbing, and I want dash, and I want jump, and I want double jump, why not? And I want movement, and I want click to move, because this is going to be an RPG, but I want double ASD as well, why not sprint, you know, like, oh no, I don't want this, I want that, right? So you basically select what you want to select and specify and narrow it down basically what your game is supposed to look like, right? So this is the whole idea. Now we're going to rework this because this, I don't know if you can see, but it does look quite confusing. Like, what is the crafty beauty? What is a crafty beauty, right? I have no idea. I'm making this and I don't have any idea what crafty beauty is. And it's super confusing. So what I'm going to do, allegedly, we'll see, because maybe there's a lot of stuff that pops up in my mind that it can be improved after that, right? I want basically the user to click here, and when it clicks here, it knows. If it reads Action Looter, Action Looter, you know, Borderlands, you know, all those games that you can just read it and you know, oh, okay, oh, this is Metroidvania or whatever, right? You can, a platformer, you know what a platformer is, right? You know the Terraria and stuff like that. It just a certain game pops in your mind, right? And you know exactly what basically you're working on. Now, we're going to make this also as well. When you click on it, it's going to automatically pre-select the the features that go well or work with or are supposed to be right inside this type of a game, right? That's why we have templates here. So instead of, if you don't want to do this, you know, you can just basically use the template. It selects everything and basically press create. So I don't know any other more easy way than just pressing a button, selecting a template and pressing create, right? Or just specifying a couple more things, right? I don't think if there is any other easier way to make a GDD file. Now, with that said, I was like, okay, we need something as well to create the scenes, because we try to create scenes automatically, right? By typing, you know, scenes, right? But this actually makes me think about something. Anyway, so another feature, but typing scenes and making scenes, it's not working at all. The scenes have parser errors. You cannot open them. It creates the scene like file, but you cannot open the scene, you cannot use the scene, you cannot do anything with the scene, right? So it doesn't work, at least from what I've tested, right? So I have to look into it, because I would really like the idea of having a way where it automatically creates the scene, the scenes that you need, right, or want. But so far we cannot create scenes. Because of that, we came up with the blueprint button. I was like, okay, we need something, the same thing like this, but for scenes. And the blueprint button, what it does is you specify your scene here, right? Let's say you need a player scene, whatever scene you want. And I'll show you something that I created here by the previous video, which was quite funny, at least for me. But you basically specify the name for the scene, right? The root, right, of the scene. And, you know, so far we have just those. Maybe I will add some more or whatever I'm going to do, right? I don't know. I'm going to see based on testing. But this is just an idea, you know, to go from, right? And you press create. Now you have reset as well and stuff like that. So once you create it, we added this section here, which is my blueprints. You can call it library, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter, right? But the point is that it creates this blueprint for you, which tells you basically how to structure the scene. As you can see, step 1, create a root node, create a new scene, add node, character body. I'm always reading it, character body 2D, right, and name it to player, set motion modes, ground, blah blah blah, right? So you can basically, you have, you know, basically the guide here. Now what I found out, what I didn't know, is that it also gives you the script, right, for the actual scene, which is here, right? I didn't know that. That's, I guess, a nice touch, right? But you have it here and you have it here, right? Which is this thing. Now, the first version was this thing to be here, but as you can see, the window is quite small, right? And I didn't want to scroll like constantly, so I can work and scroll. When I can just have a bigger window here, do something like this, and now I have so many things I can work on, right? And then just screw a bit more, right? And then I have a lot of more things to work on and stuff like that, instead of here trying to scroll constantly on this small window. It's just annoying. So I was like, okay, we should place it here on the right side because the window is bigger and it gives you just more information to look at, right? That's the thing. Now, yeah, let me show you this. The previous video, I decided to go for a control node and YouTube, right? Basically a scene for YouTube. Now, what this thing gave me is basically the whole homepage of YouTube, I guess, because it's a full screen button, volume sliders, all kinds of things, right? There's subscriber count, channel name, all kinds of things, right? And it gives you like what to do, and it was quite funny, you know. I find it quite funny, to be honest. But yeah, basically it gave me this, and now I have a YouTube, you know, blueprint if I want, right? So you can switch, right? You can delete and whatever. Next thing is autofix. The idea with autofix was, I don't know if it's going to work, but the idea behind the autofix is that when you have errors like this, for example, right, the autofix, when it's on, the autofix will go, basically the AI will go see that there is an error, and it's going to go inside that file, that script, and it's going to rework the script and remove the error, right? Basically, it's going to update the script and fix the error. This is the whole idea behind the autofix. I don't know if it's going to work. As I said, I tested basically nothing. Because I'm constantly updating this thing, right? It was working, the GDD is working, the folders are working, a lot of things were working, but because I'm constantly updating it, it's like you have to connect everything back and forth again, and it's a lot of time, and that's why I mean that I basically haven't tested anything properly, right? But yeah, this is the main idea behind the autofix, right? We have an update button because at some point, what I've noticed with AI is that the best way to work with AI is to have a reference, right, document, which is, let's say, the MD file, right? So what I usually do when I start some project or something, I always ask to convert the idea or the thing that I'm working on as an MD file, right? If you use AI, please make this thing, because it's so easy to then just upload the MD file, right? Then having to explain everything. You can just upload the file, read the MD file, it reads the MD file, it knows what's going on. Because of that, right, I didn't want to type, right, updates, you know, blah blah blah, or let's say updates, roadmap, update MD files, updates GDD and stuff like that. Because of that, I was like, we just have to make it as simple as possible, which is one button. You press the button and it goes and it updates all the MD files, right? And this button is basically only for the MD files, because at some point you do your project, you do your scenes, right? You do this, you do that. At some point it's supposed to basically check your files, see what's done, and go and update the MD files. So then if something happens, right, you have the MD files, they're updated, or if you decide to upload them somewhere else, or I don't know, whatever you want to do with those files, right, you can be like, you can just do like read the MD files, right, and it's going to read the MD files and it's up to date, right? That's the whole thing. Now this button is just you know, a model version. It's quite simple, right? You can switch from what I call the normal version and the cheaper version, right? But basically you can switch from different versions AI, and that's about it, you know. So far, as I said, we have to update this thing, make it more user friendly. There are 115 maybe more features that I need to add. We have to connect them. The idea is to have templates, right? So I can just come, I want a roguelike, and it has some stuff, right? But maybe I don't want to do a roguelike that's, I don't know, like a 3D, right? Maybe I want to be a 2D, but I also want to have swimming for some reason, right? And yeah, so basically I click or I uncheck what I want with the new project, right? And press create. After that, you have the GDD file, and then you start basically creating the scenes for that game, right? And that's about it. So yeah, I'll leave it here. I have to go back and start working on this. I have many more ideas for other stuff, other things, and if it works out the way I want it to work, I feel like I can take game creation to a totally new level. But let's see if this project is going to actually happen, because who knows, right? I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it and stuff like that, but so far I'm working on it, and yeah, we'll see what will happen. So have fun.